All right, friends, we back with another video on Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, the lifting slave, bro. So now he's talking about protein. He must be watching my videos. He is watching them because he tried to strike me again, a copyright. And he knows I talk about a lot about protein and stuff. What does he say? High protein intakes make all the body composition goals a lot easier. Okay. I know it does. Of course it does. It's kind of obvious. All right, let's review this video.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about understanding that high protein intakes will really help you dramatically in any of your body composition goals, in the sense that it gives you a lot more wiggle room and it just makes things easier. So, when people start coming up with these ideas of, hey, what's the minimum amount of protein I need to gain good muscle, is kind of asking the wrong question, because it absolutely limits your results in a lot of ways. And the reason...
Of course it limits your results. What do you think builds your body? Weights? You think lifting weights like this lifting slave in his garage is going to build your body somehow? You have to be crazy. That doesn't do anything to your body but breaks your body down. This breaks your body down. That's what it does. It doesn't build your body up. Protein builds your body, and you need a hell of a lot of it.
For that, because high protein intakes do other things besides just help you gain muscle. Okay?
High protein intakes are associated with anabolic growth states. Okay? That's what it does. It will put you, a high protein intake will put you in an anabolic growth state. It'll suppress the catabolic hormone. It'll convert the catabolic hormone to an androgen, so it doesn't have to, so that your hormones doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor. Get it, man? It's really simple. That makes things a lot easier. Look, you want to convert the catabolic hormone to an androgen so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor. How do you do that? Well, you put yourself in an anabolic growth state. Therefore, there is no breakdown. There's buildup now. There's buildup. The breakdown is shut off. There's no catabolic hormone. Cortisol is gone. It's out of the picture, bro. You are in a absolute growth state. So you could do anything during that time to try to grow your body. And so that's the time to start these injuries, bro. Start growing that body.
And in fact, when you're in a calorie surplus, gaining muscle doesn't oftentimes require as much protein as people think it does.
Calorie surpluses do not put you in anabolic growth states, okay? Does it put you in an anabolic growth state?
Okay, so that's why it's the wrong question. What people should be asking is, how much protein should I be consuming if I want to make losing body fat easier?
How much nutrients should you be eating? A hell of a lot of nutrients, because that's what builds muscle. Protein is nutrients, highly dense, nutrient packed. That's what builds muscles, not calories and these fake artificial diets.
How much protein should I be consuming if I want to gain less fat when I'm trying to bulk and gain muscle?
How much protein should I eat? Gain less fat and what? Build muscle? What are you talking about? That's stupid. Your natural diet, carnivore diet, that's what it does. Transforms your body. Not lifting weights like an idiot, a garage slave like you in this garage.
If I want better connective tissue recovery to make all of this easier as I start to get a little older.
You want better connective tissue? If you cause these injuries and you don't give it enough time to repair and remodel, you come back, you'll fuck those tendons and shit. Yeah, man, the so-called connective tissue will be fucked. Community sections posted there. Check it.
All right. You guys see all these other things. There's all these other metabolic benefits to increasing protein. There really are. And
of course there is. There's anabolic benefits to increasing protein because it's highly dense, nutrient dense. That's why. Yeah, man. What it does is it shuts off the catabolic hormone, converts the catabolic hormone to an androgen, so it doesn't have to compete with the myocytic androgen receptor. There you go. Puts you in a positive nitrogen balance. You are in an anabolic growth state, so there's no breakdown. There's only buildup of proteins now.
Again, this is why when I hear certain people, I'll hear vegans point this out, for example, Well, people overhype the amount of protein you need to gain muscle, and it's like,
Yeah, you have to eat a lot. Want to know why? In order to bypass that myonuclear domain size, when it reaches a ceiling limit during hypertrophic process, it states that the progenitor is beyond where it could donate any extra nuclei to that domain to support further muscle growth. Okay, so what do you need to do to push that myonuclear domain so you could get the progenitor to deposit its nuclei? It's really simple. It has to reach a ceiling limit. Get it? Yeah, man. And then when you go into the gym, you're a lot stronger now. So the last weights that you lifted, you won't be lifting those. You'll be lifting new weights. And those weights will cause these injuries to the deeper, weaker muscle fibers. And then you need to be in an anabolic growth state to push that domain. And then it'll donate its nuclei because it reached an MND size limit. And so now it'll give you a donation of these nuclei, and then they need to reach an MND size ceiling limit. And then they will donate their nuclei. But if they haven't reached a ceiling during hypertrophic process, a ceiling limit, they will not donate their nuclei, because why would they? To further what domain? You haven't reached the ceiling limit yet. You understand how it works? You understand how that works? So you need to be constantly in an anabolic growth state. You need to keep growing and then injuring and growing to bypass that nuclear domain. But if you're in a deficit and you're just eating these little meals and you think, well, I'll just injure it because I'm unaccustomed, I'll just injure my muscles and it'll magically give me a donation of these nuclei. No, it won't. It won't. It has to reach a ceiling limit before it could give you a donation of these nuclei to further that domain. It won't do it if it hasn't reached a ceiling limit. That's the whole point.
well, they're right. They are technically right. Okay, and I'm not saying that I'm promoting veganism here, because I don't promote any of this.
That's why it's so hard to put on real myofibrillar growth. But like I said, man, if you're a cheap dude, bro, if you're a cheap son of a bitch, go buy a bag of 50-pound bag of potatoes and wolf them down like crazy, and you'll create these sarcoplasmic hypertrophy fake muscles. Those are a lot easier. Chasing the pump. Those are easier to build. Yeah, man. And nobody will know the worst or the wear of it, that they're fake, that you have fake muscles, okay? You know what I mean? You won't be stronger. You'll be weak. Your tendons and everything will be weak. Your muscle fibers will be weak. But at least you look like you're strong, right? Because you got the sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. And hey, man, you're basing your strength off what? The chemical strength, getting these adaptations in these myocytic androgen receptors. So what's the deal, right? Yeah, man, I wouldn't worry about it. You definitely don't want to grow your natural strength, because that's a lot of work. Who's going to eat all that food? Eh? Who's going to do that, push that domain, and then injure the fibers and then keep pushing that domain, eating so much like that, week in and week out? You're going to do all that work? Nah, man, come on. You want to work an easy. You want to get a pump and a glycogen in there and get pumped up and work out every day, chronically pumping these glycogen muscles. Yeah, man. That's a lot easier for you people to do out there. Yes.
Or any specific diets at this point.
Look at Jason Blaha. It doesn't bother him chasing chemical strength. There's fake chemical phony strength to lift something heavy for his production, and his phony little muscles that he has, which he doesn't even have any muscles. So what's the point, right?
I think a lot of them are tools you can have be a useful tool. Okay.
Yeah, you are a tool. You're such a tool, man. Look at this guy. Tools.
I'll leave it at that. Meaning intermittent fasting, keto, vegan, vegetarian. I mean, whatever your
Yeah, intermittent fasting, keto, vegan, is that. None of these things exist in nature. Your body works the way it does in nature, exactly the way it works in nature. That's how it works. But when you start introducing these phony, man-made, stupid things, whatever, it doesn't work. That's why it doesn't work for anybody. It works the way it works.
which happens to be, look, if it works for you, I'm not going to be dogmatic about it. Okay?
Yeah, if something phony works for you, go for it. Go roll with it, bro. Just roll with it.
It's what you need. Just don't pretend it's the be all end all. These are valuable tools.
I like how he swings the weight up and down. He just throws it up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Then he wonders why he has no arms.
And in some cases, they may be great tools for certain things. But, they're not always the
25 pounds, that's it? Oh, brother.
be all end all by any means, and they aren't. But one of the things it really is, that I will say is almost a cheat code, is to just keep your protein high.
Keep your protein high so you can suppress that cortisol hormone. You think he's doing that? He's not doing that. His cortisol is pretty high, but the problem, the difference is he's taking TRT, which none of you guys are. He's taking TRT to kind of suppress that cortisol, possibly a little bit here and there. It's not even working that much for him because look at him, man. He's suffering from sarcopenia. That's what's happening.
I'm going to say that is one of the keys that people find that makes so many different dietary approaches successful.
That's why his testosterone's so low. It's low because this shit increases your cortisol. Lifting, it's stressful. Yeah, and if cortisol's up, testosterone is down. Like it says in science. Yeah, man.
Successful is when I've always told people eat a lot of protein and eat lots of vegetables.
Do not eat a lot of vegetables. They're filled with oxalates. Those crystals will fuck up your body. And they're anti-nutrient, okay? And they'll make you insulin resistant and whatever, okay? Stick to the carnivore, high-fat carnivore diet. It's a lot better and healthier for you.
In fact, I will go so far as to say that if you pull those two things off,
yeah, whatever.
Because if you cover the other thing, you've got the most important part. It is going to be easier, and I think that's undeniable. It's just not necessary. You can do it through Whole Foods. Okay, you can do it through Whole Foods. And of course, but we need
Whole Foods? Yeah. You should be eating natural food.
to come back and understand. When people protein overfeed, they tend to lose body fat even if they're gaining muscle. And I'm talking,
You want to know why when you protein overfeed you lose fat and gain, you can gain muscle. You're losing fat because it's a highly dense nutrient diet and your body doesn't see you in a famine right now. So it's not a necessity to keep all that fat. It sees like there's an abundance right now. We're eating a lot. That's why you're able to drive the fat off your body. It'll drive it off because it says, well, there's an abundance right now. So we're in a kind of a healthy state. So we don't need all this fat. Starts putting on fat when there's a reduction in something in your body's changed. There's a change in your diet, a reduction of some sort. It just does it for survival purposes, survival mode. So when you start eating junk food, you start putting on fat. Why? Because there's a lack of nutrients. Your body thinks we're going through a famine because there's a lack of nutrients. Get it, man? When you eat your Cocoa Puffs and shit and all that, when they're all devoid of all these nutrients, your oats, your fucking oatmeal, oat shit that you're eating, it's devoid of anything in there. So you start driving more fat. You start driving up the fat.
talking eating 200 grams. We're talking in that 300, 400 plus gram range. Grams of protein a day.
Yeah, it's not hard to
It's like 100% in some of these studies. Sure, absolutely. But the limited amount we have has been pretty consistent. So that tells you something about really high protein intakes, doesn't it? We tend to lose body fat.
It tells you an NCBI. Protein synthesis needs to exceed that breakdown in order to see that mass. But it's also a window for protein breakdown. So there you go when you work out. So it's not only a window for protein synthesis, protein breakdown as well, and to see that mass, protein breakdown needs to exceed that. Protein needs to exceed that breakdown.
And again, when I say protein, everyone they hear that and they start saying, "Well, these are problems with a high protein diet, this or that." But nobody told you to eat those foods. They're like, "Well, your dietary cholesterol and fat might be."
No, there's none of that. None of those things are associated with it.
Too high. Well, no one told you to eat fat. And this is the thing that people don't get. You're a medical doctor and you don't know that fat and protein are completely different. You're not high fat. High fat foods are high fat. It's like no one told you to eat fat. Like no one said this. And it's shocking that people don't get it. I don't understand sometimes the chain of logic.
It's shocking. These people, they just don't get it. Yes, they don't get it.
You know, it's kind of like when people can't comprehend in some stuff. I'm getting on a side tangent here, but I just feel it's the same thing. Anytime people discuss a lower fat diet, they automatically go to sugar. You know, because obviously table sugar and fats are the only foods in existence. You know.
Table sugar has devoid of any nutrients. And animal fat is dense with nutrients. It has nutrients in it. So why would it be bad for you? Why would animal fat be bad for you if it's nutrient dense? It's just like meat. So yeah, that makes no sense. But whatever.
Chicken, rice, vegetables, refined sugars, and fats are the only things that exist in the universe. It's laughable.
Okay.
You know, if some of those things weren't produced by the food industry, none of us would starve. There'd still be plenty of food. All right, but back over to the point. The point is high protein intakes make it easier to control body composition. They just make all.
Sure it does. High protein, nutrient dense diet helps to control the body composition, man. You want to look a certain way, that's what you do. You eat. Food will change everything in your body. Food will build your muscle. Food will bypass MND size limit. And yeah, it'll even, the composition of your body will change. You'll look better depending on what you're eating. Food is everything. Without food, forget it. And if you have no money, you have no food, you can't build your body. I'll see you in the next one. Tell us what you think about that. Like, subscribe, support the channel. Ciao, friends. Yeah, Jason Blaha. High protein intakes make all the body composition a lot easier. It sure does. See you in the next one.